Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to learn our next poem 2.3 The Inchcape Rock. The Inchcape Rock is written by Robert Saudi. So firstly, we have to do the icebreakers on page number 103. So first icebreaker is prepare a word register related to marine life. First is given here. You have to choose the words which is related to the marine life and write here. So first is given there sailor. Related to marine life, the other words are mariner, boat, ship, sail, wheel, waves, coast, seashore, ocean, etc. All these words are related to the marine life. So our next icebreaker is the functions of a lighthouse are. Here you have to write down the functions of a lighthouse. What does the work do, the lighthouse? So first is given here to show the direction. Next is, it is like a traffic sign on the sea to warn of danger, for navigation, to guide the sailor to reach safely at coast. These are the uses of the lighthouse. Next activity for the icebreaker is discuss in pairs the various famous rocks in the world and mention the places where they are. So here table is given, famous rock, and next you have to write the place. First is given here balancing rock. The place of balancing rock is Mahabalipuram. The next rock is Vivekananda, situated at Kanyakumari. Next is Wave Rock, Arizona, USA. Split Apple Rock, situated at New Zealand. Next is narrate in the class a story about someone who destroyed or spoilt someone else's good work. So here you have to write a short, you have to narrate a short story about someone who destroyed the someone's good work. So here the story is, there was once a grumpy man who didn't like anyone in his neighborhood. Whenever the people would organize a community event, they would invite him to help and try to make him feel a part of the community. However, the grumpy man never attended any of the event. Here, grumpy man means a person who is dissatisfied, or the person who always jealous to the others. That is called a grumpy person. So, however, the grumpy man never attended any of the events. He stayed in his house all the time, never talking to anyone. Eventually, the neighborhood stopped inviting him to any gatherings. So the story is a grumpy man who didn't like anyone, who didn't like his neighbors, who don't want to talk the neighbors, or who don't want to know who is the neighbors. So once the neighbors organize event, and in that event neighbors invited that grumpy man, but the grumpy man didn't attend that community event. So after some time, the neighbors or the people don't invite the grumpy man, because they know that the grumpy man did not attend any of the event or any of the ceremony. So because of that, neighbors after some time, they never invited him. So because of that, that person always stayed, that grumpy man always stayed at home, and the situation is like that he didn't want to talk to anyone. So neighbors stopped inviting him to any gatherings. Once when his neighbors had organized a fun fair, the grumpy man, but of spite, destroyed the entire setup. The night before the event, the next morning, when everyone saw what had happened, they knew that the grumpy man must have been behind it. They let him off with warning that the next time he caused destructions, they would report him to the police. So what happened once the neighbors organized a fun fair event, and at that time the grumpy man destroyed that entire setup of that night program before the event. So the next morning, when the neighbors saw that all the organized things, all the setup is spoilt, they just think that the whole thing do by that grumpy man. So they warned him, because the person, that grumpy person, caused that destruction. So they warned him that if you do again such type of thing, then they reported him to the police, as the grumpy man had spoiled everyone's good work. So here we can understand through this short story that a grumpy person spoiled all the good work here. They all decided never to speak to him again. So all the people, all the neighbors decided that they don't talk, they don't speak to that grumpy person, because the grumpy person is the person who spoiled the good work. So because of that, it means that that grumpy person didn't like good work, even not participate him, so and spoiled all the good work. So here in this story we can understand through the grumpy person how a grumpy person, or how someone destroyed the others' good work. So the next activity for icebreaker is discuss in pairs and groups the following expressions. So here some expressions are given there, and you have to just understand what are the meaning of that expressions. First is given here. Actually these expressions may be the idioms or proverbs we use in our day-to-day life also. So first is, as you sow, so shall you reap. It means के जैसा बोओगे वैसा पाओगे. Next is crime gets its own punishment. If you do some crime, definitely you must have to pay for that through the punishment. What does around comes around. What you use around, that comes around. जैसा करोगे वैसा पाओगे. Next is tit for tat. ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना. tit for tat, जैसे को तैसा. Okay. Evil digs a pit for others but falls into the same. If someone digs a pit for others. But actually what happened, after some time, that person who dig, that evil person falls into the same. दूसरों के लिए गड्ढा खोदोगे तो खुद ही गिर जाओगे. So all these phrases are idioms and proverbs. They are convey the same meaning. They all mean that when a person act with certain intention, the intention may be good or bad. Here that intention is bad, the results will be the same as the action. If the intentions are good, the person will benefit from rewards. If the intentions are evil, he or she will be punished. So all the information through the icebreaker, we learn very important things, and it just be a part of our next poem, that Inchcape Rock. So here I have completed the icebreaker section. Hope so you may understand all the icebreakers. Thank you for listening. Keep listening and learning. Thank you.